Any question you have about clothing, whether it's shopping, carrying, cleaning, storing, repairing, leathers, suedes, ski gear, workout gear, you name it, it's open season. If you have a quality standard for all clothing, from bargain basement to designer boutique, and you apply that quality standard when you buy clothing, you're going to get the best price and the best quality. And that's what I'm trying to encourage people to do. I just wanted you to see this. It's a quality label. Can anybody read that? No wash in water, no dry clean. And I know you laugh about that, but that is a relatively common label. And oh, you like the goat parts, right? But I want you to know that there's a way to get around almost everything. And so, you know, if your dry cleaner really knows what they're doing, they can generally find a way to clean this garment. And at worst, they can spot clean it. Go for the neck and the underarms or any particular spots. If you have a $1,000 outfit or a $1,500 or $2,000 or whatever, it's a very special garment, and you're concerned about cleaning it. We do this a lot with entertaining people that are entertainers and they have a lot of fragile clothing. We will advocate that they spot clean their garment only for a couple times if it's looked over real well, as providing there aren't any oil stains that might set. If you walked into a restaurant that was kind of filthy or whatever, you wouldn't want to eat there. And it's the same thing with a dry cleaner. If you walk in and the place doesn't look real neat and the people aren't attentive to you, if they have a sign behind the counter that says not responsible for zippers, buttons, and trims, turn around and walk out. What Donna said is true, that here I am doing the rehearsal in the morning with the director and the producer, and as soon as they say take 5, you know, and I'm kind of, you know, trying to pull myself together and say, okay, I got to get all these pieces. And the cameraman, Steve, you know, my wife has a fur, and I was wondering, you know, what do you think I should do? It's getting dry. And then the producer walks over and he goes, look at the fraying on the shirt collar. What do you think we can do about that? You know, is that my dry cleaner? And it was very gratifying because everybody, you know, I was there on a national show trying to teach people how to take care of their clothing. And it's obvious that it's a universal issue, and everybody wants to know. And so it was very nice to have them come forward, and these are very busy and professional people. So that was kind of neat. So much of what we did in that piece was talking about stains and how to take care of them. And I know you were asking and other people have been asking. The best thing that you can do about your clothes when you know that you have a stain and you wonder if it shows and that sort of thing, is it's true that oil stains, which really only come out in dry cleaning, do not have an outline. So if you see a stain on your clothes that has no outline, it's kind of blurry around the perimeter, that's generally an oil stain. And it has to be dry cleaned, and it should be dry cleaned within 24 to 48 hours to give yourself the best opportunity of having it removed. Because when you take it into the cleaners, it's not like they take it and clean it. You know, it may take them a day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever, to get it marked in and inspected and ready to clean. And things that have an outline, a specific outline, you can be pretty certain that that's a water-based stain. And that means that, you know, it's coffee, tea, soda, that sort of thing. And if your garment's washable, you should kind of pre-spot it with whatever you use and wash it as soon as possible. So just knowing that alone is very helpful. If you can identify the stain, then that's 50% of the problem. People come to the cleaners and they say, you know, I don't remember that stain being there, and that's common. I've done that myself. I pull clothes out of my closet and say, you know, I don't remember that being there. But fortunately, I know how to get it out. And one of the things that my book tells, it's got a whole chapter on stains, but it gets everyone into the state of mind that they now are taking control over their wardrobe investment, over the carrying, the cleaning, and the storage. She was telling me this story, and she panicked. And the people at the table kind of saw that she was frustrated, and they said, oh, I hear that white wine takes out red wine. And so she actually took a glass of white wine and poured it on the red wine. And it actually does kind of neutralize it and flush it, but not enough to pull the stain out of it, okay? But she did that, knowing that she was doing it. And she said, well, it didn't, I told my girlfriends it didn't get better, and they said, I think club soda is the best thing. So they ordered some club soda, and they did the same thing on that. So she's pouring these things on. And it's now diluted a little bit more, but there's now kind of a ring forming around the perimeter. Then someone said, well, I think water, just plain water, is probably the best thing. So she did the water. And lastly, someone said salt, because it absorbs red wine, which is true, it does. And on a tablecloth, if you spill red wine, you can put some salt on it, and that'll help absorb it until you have an opportunity to get it washed or pre-soak it or clean it. So she had done all these things to her outfit, and she was telling me about it. And I wished I had a tape recorder, because I don't think that a bartender could remember all those steps, you know? And I felt really bad for her, because I hear these stories every day. You know, in the old days when they were using whiteout to correct things and they were spilling on it, now they use, corrected tape or whatever. Whiteout was the #1 stain that women were bringing in. It's actually, that's a universal issue. And I was a member of one of the, a consulting group of the best 100 cleaners around the world. And we met 4 times a year. And one of the issues that was every single meeting was creasing pants that didn't have creases and vice versa. We would take the creases out and then get them back with no creases. But you're right, so many different fabrics, and really anything that's got a shine or a texture, like a gab or an acetate, or you put a crease in it, and that crease is permanent. So the bottom line is that if they crease it and it didn't have a crease, they need to replace the pants if they can't get it out, if they can't remove every hint of it. That red sweater that I had on the View, and the kind that you scratch off the stain, I didn't get to the 5th segment, but the 5th segment was going to say that when you store your clothing, make sure that you clean everything before you store it, including the red sweater with the crusty stain on it. Because yes, you can scratch it off, but if it's still got a remnant in the fabric, then the insects will know that and they'll go after it. If you go to my website, you can email me, and I'll give you any answers. I'm getting letters every day from around the world, and I'll answer any question that you have under anything under the sun. I want to thank everybody for coming. I hope that it was helpful.